at 10:45 or earlier if you need to. Hey, good morning. It's 10:03 on the East Coast. Dave Bolton, Boogie with the Bull, Friday morning caffeine. With us today is Bill Muckler. And if you don't know who Bill Muckler is on Facebook, then maybe you're not on Facebook. Bill Muckler is a retired Marine captain. He is an entrepreneur. He is a writer. He wrote the two books, 2020, 2020, A Clear Vision for America, and 2020, A Clear Vision for Our Future. By the end of this broadcast, you're going to want to go buy them and have them for all of your friends. And here is Randy Rhodes. Randy Rhodes is with us. And so, Bill, I guess we could start with Red Friday because I see you're wearing red and I wore red. And tell us about Red Friday.
Yeah, it looks like, hi, Randy. Looks like Randy's got some red in the background. I've been a proponent of Red Friday for, it's close to 20 years now. I wear red every Friday. And what it stands for is Remember Everyone Deployed. And it's really for us to remember and honor all of our young servicemen and women who are deployed somewhere overseas. And I kind of expand that to those are also stationed here in the United States, because the way the situation is, it's so fluid that they can be here today and overseas tomorrow. It's not like when I was in the military when we were going someplace. I know when we went to Vietnam, I think we had 24 hours notice, but we had to pack everything up and put it on a ship and go. Now they just you get a call and you're on an airplane and you're there the next day, in the Middle East or whatever. I don't trust our government. Let's just get that out of the way right away. I do not trust our political establishment one bit. I don't think anybody is telling us the truth. And I am very skeptical of these never-ending wars that we've been in for the last 25 years. It started back in, all this really started back around 1972 in the Munich Olympics. But just to put it in kind of a more of a context that most people can relate to, in 1999, the Yemenis from Yemen, they call them the Houthis, they rowed out to one of our Navy ships, the USS Cole, and exploded bomb, killed 17 of our young sailors. And then after that, we had 9/11 and the never-ending wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now we got Israel and Gaza, and we got the Houthis firing on our commercial transportation and our Navy ships, and then we got the war in the Ukraine. And I'm kind of wondering, I don't know if you guys know anything for sure, but I got to believe that this whole thing is just, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. Supposedly, the Ukraine hired Hunter Biden to be on their board, Burisma, our big oil company, and they paid off Biden. And now Biden wants us to send billions of dollars to the Ukraine. In the meantime, we got guys like this dolt John Kirby, who's an embarrassment to the U.S. Naval Service, retired admiral, is telling us, well, we're not really giving them, we're not making weapons and ammunition for the Ukrainians. We're supplying them out of our stockpiles. Well, how the hell did they get in the stockpiles in the first place? Then when they further ask them a question, they'll say, well, yeah, we're supplying our stockpiles now. We're building our stockpiles back up. Does anybody, believe believe that okay, we're sending it out of our stockpile inventory, but we're also replenishing our stockpile inventory. And that means that we don't have anything to do with sending, making any kind of munitions or weapons for the Ukraine. I mean, it's what are they trying to do to us? They're trying to make us think that, you know, we have no clue that we can't connect a couple of dots. It's a straight line. Anyway, we lost a couple of Navy SEALs. I did that, talked about that on a show. They were boarding a ship that was taken over by the Houthis, and I guess one of the SEALs slipped on the ropes. I climbed those ropes, by the way, to get aboard a ship in practice, not in combat. And let me tell you, that's not the easiest thing to do. That is difficult because those ropes get slippery, and that ship is it's just not sitting there. It's not like climbing a wall inside of a building. That ship is moving back and forth and up and down, and you're kind of swaying around. So one of the SEALs slips on that. His buddy, his brother, SEAL, goes in after him to try and help him. These guys got somewhere around 60 to 90 pounds of gear on them that you're trying to climb up on. So if one of them slips and falls in the water, you can be the best swimmer in the world, but if you got 90 pounds of gear and weapons on you, it's pretty hard to stay afloat. So we lost 2 SEALs. Then we found out we lost 3 Army personnel in Jordan, and then so that's up to 5 now. And then we lost 5 Marines in a helicopter accident that they were flying a helicopter from somewhere up in Nevada down to the Marine Corps Air Station at Miramar, California, which is down around San Diego. They were lost in the mountains. So that's 10 just recently that we've lost. So those are the people I want us to remember on Red Friday, and thank them for their honorable service and what they're doing for our country. They're making the ultimate sacrifices. So every one of them that's deployed someplace, they can be asleep and get bombed and be on maneuvers. They can be in a combat situation. They can just be having their lunch or whatever, and they're killed by the terrorists, because the terrorists have no they have no respect for human life. And I guess we have respect for human life, and that's why we remember everybody deployed Red Friday. So that's my that's my take on that, and I think just about all of our viewers are going to kind of agree with that, or they accept that.
You're muted.
Dave's on mute.
Dave is on mute. Dave is supposed to be on mute most of the time. But you mentioned 9/11. I want to ask you, do you think our government was involved in 9/11? Or do you think it was all terrorist, or what's your take on it?
Well, that is a mystery. I've read so much on this and researched so much on this from both sides. My answer is always those planes, and I saw it because my wife came and got me. She said, "Bill, you got to look at TV." She had TV on, and I was home that morning. I wasn't traveling that week. And she said, "You got to see this. There's a plane flew into one of the trade towers." And I'm watching, another plane flies in. Well, some people say, well, that never really happened, but it looked to me like it happened. So those twin towers, they collapsed. Okay. I kind of wonder how the hell that could happen, but supposedly some engineers say it's possible. Why is it that happened around 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning? And at 5 o'clock that afternoon, a building that was across the street that was never hit, building number 7, just collapsed to the ground. 5-story building collapsed to the ground. Big brick building. How did that happen? And that was a building that supposedly had all these documents in it. Boy, that kind of makes you believe that, hey, government must have been involved in this somehow. But boy, I don't know. I wish somehow we could learn, and there's some other mysteries we'd like to know too, like who shot John Kennedy and everything else in between. What about you guys? Do you have any thoughts on it?
I personally believe that we did it to ourselves. There was conversation that a lot of money was owed to someone, and the documentation to prove the evidence was inside the building. And of course, when the building went poof, so did all the evidence. I find it hard to believe that that plane created enough heat to melt the metal girdings that this building was built from. I mean, when you look at these buildings as they're going up, and all the superstructures, all the intertwined structures, all the stuff that goes into creating hopefully a safe structure, there's no way in hell a plane hitting that spot brought down that building without additional explosives. The fact that all the bodies incinerated. I'm like, come on. I mean, how often do you have a catastrophe where was it 3,000 bodies just incinerate and all it is powder? I'm sorry. I think we did it to ourselves for notorious reasons. And just like everything else that our government is capable of doing. I mean, look at how the election for Trump was stolen. We have a government that will stop at nothing to do what it wants to do, to get to where it wants to go. Be damned who gets hurt in the process. And that's a sad commentary for our country, That's why I'm truly hoping, but not hopeful. I'm hoping, but not hopeful that Trump gets back into the office. Somehow, I think a tragedy is going to occur with him between now and election day. But no, to answer your question, I think we are responsible for bringing down those buildings, just like World War II. Look how many years that the nations were at battle, and the United States was staying out of it until Pearl Harbor was hit. Well, Pearl Harbor was hit because they allowed it to be hit. I mean, come on, we lined up our ships all nice, pretty line, so that torpedoes can go down, boom, 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 and get them. It's a Sunday, so the men are off, with a religious worship. They're not on their ships, they're not manning their guns. Our government is dirty, 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 dirty. And I hate to say that, but it is.
Bill, were you at Pearl Harbor? Were you there?
I actually sailed in and out of Pearl Harbor 7 different times. And I actually, I wasn't really stationed at Pearl Harbor. I was at the Marine Corps Air Station at Kaneohe Bay, which is across the island from, on the north side of the island from Pearl Harbor, which is on the south side. But I used to go over there weekly and pick up classified material. That's another thing. The political establishment's regard and treatment of classified material is completely different than my experience when I was in the Marine Corps. I was given the additional duty of squadron S2 officer, which meant I was the intelligence officer for the squadron. It's not that big of a deal, but anyway, I was also the custodian of classified material, and I ended up, and our CO got me a top secret security clearance. So I was the only officer in the squadron, actually the only person in the squadron that was cleared to handle classified top secret material, other than our CO and executive officer. Obviously, those guys aren't going to be handling classified material. So I used to get the Jeep, strap on my loaded 45, drive over to Pearl Harbor. It took close to an hour to get over there, and go on the base, sign for the classified material and top secret material, and bring it back to our squadron, to my office, and lock it up, log it in and lock it up. And then I would, whatever was necessary for the CO or the executive officer to read, I would take that to them, and they would, I noted that, here's where the material was. Then when they finished reading it, they would give it back to me. I'd log it back into my I had these two big kind of like file cabinets with combination locks on. These were like extra heavy duty, thick filing cabinets. You need a forklift to pick them up. So I understood, you had to account for every piece of material. And now, Biden has it in his garage. He has it all over the place. Trump's got it in Mar-a-Lago. Pence has got it someplace. Who knows all the people that have classified material spread out all over. And we're supposed to trust these people as far as the political establishment, that they're telling us the truth, that they're taking care of we the people, and safeguarding us, which is what the government is really, the federal government, that's really their main responsibility, is to keep the country and the people safe and secure. Dave, you're still on mute.
I want to sideline off of Pearl Harbor and get your take. What do you think about what's going on in Hawaii now?
I'm not sure what are you referring to.
Well, you mean it looks like a war zone. It looks like something happened. There, people are grabbing up as much land. I don't know exactly what the ultimate plan will be, but what do you think?
Okay, I know what you're referring to. You're talking about the island of Maui, where they had the fire. Maui is. I'm just trying to think. I was on Oahu, and I did. I actually ran a maneuver for our squadron on Molokai, and then the next island over is Maui. So it's maybe about 100 miles from Honolulu to Maui. Maui, when I was there back in the 50s and 60s, was really a pretty quiet place, and it was starting to build up as a tourist attraction. Now it's a big tourist attraction, but the one town on the south side of the island where most of the natives live, the Hawaiians, they had this flash fire, and I don't know how that happened, but it certainly was. That's another one that was kind of suspicious, that they were not able to control it or put it out. And that fire just completely wiped out that whole town, just several miles along the southern beach there of Maui. And then FEMA went over there to help out, and they're staying in the luxury hotels on the other side of the island for $500 to $1,000 a night. And then all of a sudden, everybody forgets about Maui. Nobody knows what's going on. And now the big developers are coming in and trying to gobble up the land and build, because the hotels and golf courses are mostly either up in the mountain areas or on the other coast. So they want to develop the southern coast, which is probably the more prime real estate in Hawaii, because, for example, Waikiki in Honolulu are on the southern coast of Oahu. And Molokai, their main town, is on their southern coast. So the southern coast is more favorable because of the trade winds, and rather than getting into all that, which I really understand because I had to know all that stuff because I was an air defense control officer. We had to know everything about it to control our planes. But yeah, this is really suspicious, Dave. And nobody's talking about it. They're not reporting on it now because they seem to the media seems to move from one catastrophe to another. And as soon as we start finding out the government duplicity in one catastrophe, all of a sudden now we got another one comes up. And right now, the big story now is we have the big trial in Atlanta with Fonnie Willis and her boyfriend Nathan Wade, and I've been kind of watching that to see what's going on. And boy, what a travesty of justice that is. I don't know if either of you guys have watched that.
I was following some of it. I know that it just seems that, you know, a portion of our population just can't seem to stay out of trouble. You have Fannie Willis, right? And she was going after Trump with a both barrels, you know, blasting, and everyone thought, you know, this was it. You know, someone finally got enough on Trump to bring him down. To find out, no, she's got a lot of dirt in her background, and she she's not going to do well. You know, I was watching some last night. They're doing like the 2-minute clips of the testimony, and every 2 minutes it was something different about her, and it wasn't good. It was something to do with taking cash from the money that's supposed to be used for the campaign funds. Oh yeah, well, I'm used to having cash around, and I'm not used to men, you know, paying for my way, so I make sure I have cash on me, and you know, bullshit, you know. But if she gets away with it, and so I hope not, but I got a sick feeling in my stomach that she's not going to be found guilty of her crimes either. And it's a shame. It really is. You know, everyone keeps saying we have a two-system justice, and I think we do. We have a justice system for those who, you know, support President Trump, and for those who want to see him in prison. And unfortunately, my side of it is a side that it's not going to fare well. But you know, we can sit here all we want and talk about it and mull over it and keyboard it to death. But at the end of the day, you know, the three of us, you know, we're not in a position to, shall we say, direct justice to where we want it to be directed. It's going to wind up being whatever the people with the most money and the most power is going to do. And it's just like she was checking her makeup, and she was concerned by the way her makeup looked for the cameras. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next few months.
Well, this whole thing really centers around getting Trump. For whatever reason, they're scared to death that if Trump gets reelected, that he's going to rain fire and brimstone on him and get all the restitution that he can from everybody who's done him wrong. I don't see that. I don't think Trump is going to do that. I think Trump is an America First guy, and I think that he'll kind of control himself and try to get the country back on the right rails. In the meantime, what's happening with this case is this is a civil case against Trump in Fulton County. So Trump cannot pardon himself from this. And I have to believe that somehow the Biden criminal enterprise and their Department of Injustice has found a way to get this Fani Willis and her district attorney's office in Fulton County, Georgia, to press charges against Trump. Just one of the many trials. I guess there's maybe 4 or 5 of them going on to distract Trump, so they can either keep him from campaigning or make him look so bad that the average voter, who the uninformed voter, would say, "Well, I'm not going to vote for him because he's a criminal." What Fani Willis and her team has accused Trump of is RICO charges. Now, I always thought RICO charges were federal charges, but maybe they can be under the Georgia statutes too. But what they are is they're racketeering charges. So they're actually accusing Trump and 19 altogether, 17 or 19 altogether of racketeering, in that they tried to get the state of Georgia to overturn the election. Now, I'm sure Trump wanted, probably made some phone calls or tried to use his influence to see if he couldn't get a recount on votes or something like that. Maybe it was a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't think it's racketeering at all. So anyway, if this trial goes through, Trump is convicted because the district attorney's office in Fulton County is total Democrats. The jury will be 100% Democrats, because that's the state of Georgia. If you discount Atlanta, which is Cobb County, Fulton County, if you know anything about that, that's total Marxist territory. The rest of the state is free, is conservative people who are responsible, self-reliant people. That's Georgia, except for this hub of Atlanta. And so they're going to get Trump on racketeering charges. That's a done deal. Trump is going down. He's guilty. But there's one thing that can save Trump, is if they can accuse Fani Willis and her team of misdeeds. I'll just leave it at that. That could disqualify her from pressing these charges. That would, and what that means is that then someone else would have to take it up, another entity, to prosecute prosecutors, and the prosecutors then would have to agree, yeah, it's racketeering charges. And if they say, well, no, this doesn't really meet the bar of racketeering charges, then the whole thing is dropped and Trump is free. So really what it boils down to is this trial that's going on in Atlanta is not a jury trial. It's a trial in front of a judge, Judge McAfee. If McAfee disqualifies Fani Willis, Trump's free. If McAfee agrees with Fani Willis and doesn't disqualify her, then she goes on with the prosecution of Trump on the RICO racketeering charges. So really what we're down to is one judge holds the power of what could happen, what could affect the entire planet. Because what happens in America really kind of has something to do with what happens throughout the entire world. So we got to find out. And obviously, after watching this trial, and Randy, I sat and watched the whole thing, every minute of it. What a dumbass I am. I'm a glutton for punishment. So anyway, this lady she's off the rails. There's no question about it, and it's obvious she's lying. Her body language, her demeanor, her responses. I mean, they're all over the top. I mean, this lady is obviously she's completely incompetent. The guy she appointed, Nathan Wade, completely incompetent. They can't answer questions. I mean, they're just low IQ, incompetent people. They probably got their law degree by just attending school or something like that. I'm not so sure how they become attorneys, but in any case, it's up to McAfee. So if McAfee disqualifies her, we know that at least there's some hope for America. If McAfee says no, it's okay, she's all right, then we know that the fix is in and we're doomed. It looks.
So since you watched the entire trial, God bless you, do you think that Trump stands a chance?
To me, it's 50-50. Now, if you watch some of the pundits on TV, which I guess you kind of saw some of the news last night, I was on a panel show last night for a couple hours, so I didn't get to see what all the pundits were talking about. But apparently they felt like Willis doomed herself, and there's no way that the judge can rule anything but disqualifying her. That's why I say we'll find out if the fix is in. If the judge doesn't disqualify her, the trial goes on. Trump is guilty. He's already guilty because the whole thing is fixed. Then we're doomed. And like I say, so it's up to this judge. We'll find out if the fix is in. So hopefully the judge, who's apparently a fairly young guy in as far as judges go, and new in the position that he's going to be objective and fair.
Do you think so? You don't think he's going to try and make a name for himself and be the one that brings down Trump?
Well, that's what I'm saying, Randy. If he disqualifies, if he finds Fani Willis guilty and disqualifies her, we know that the trial is on the up and up. If he doesn't, then we know the fix is in.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. Whatever his motives are, I have no idea. Everybody has their own motives, their own thoughts, and everything. So, but to me, it's just pretty obvious that RICO racketeering charges. I mean, it's so stupid. I mean, that anybody could even come up with this. And that's what they're basing this on. And the whole idea of this thing, and we know that it's coordinated with and orchestrated from the Department of Justice in the Biden criminal enterprise, because why would a court or a district attorney in Bolton County, Georgia, bring charges against a former president? That doesn't make any sense, other than the fact that Trump can't pardon himself. Trump can't be pardoned from that. He can only be pardoned from federal cases. They're federal,
Can a RICO conviction keep him from running, keep him from being president?
I don't know. It can't keep him from running, but the thing is, if he's convicted, then does he get jail time, in prison time?
I don't know.
So,
yeah.
And then those are all questions. That's a good question. Those are all questions I think that will have to be answered when we find out whether this trial is going to go forward, or if this Judge McAfee is going to disqualify the district attorney if he does. That's really a big blow for the Democrats, the Marxists in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. Randy?
You know, it's am I frozen? I'm frozen.
No, you're not. No, you're moving. I see you. You're moving.
Very, very slow, huh? Yeah, very slow. I'm waving my hand.
Yeah, it's normal speed to me.
See, now my hand's being waved.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
Right. There's.
How about if I sign out and come back in?
Well,
you're
okay.
fine. What you're doing right now is
you're
good.
fine with us, Randy. There's always a lag between. There's a lag between what happens here and what gets up to StreamYard and gets back down to Facebook.
Okay, so I hate to say it, but I agree with everything that Mr. Muckler is talking about. The tragedy of it all is that we have, a military forum where men and women join the military for the different reasons. The loyalty to the country, loyalty to their land, their friend join, or they need a job, or they're trying to stay out of prison. That kind of thing. But to once you get in and get past all the bullshit of the basic training, and as I understand it, the basic training of today is nowhere near what it was like when I went through basic training, which is sad because they're not getting the full, true reason for the training. You're being trained to be broken down to follow the instructions of your commanding officer. You're being trained to learn how to, have your stamina build up to where you can, run the 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 miles, climb those mountains, and so forth and so forth. But our military of today has, because of the rules behind who can join and what they can do and what you can't do against them as far as the training purposes and so forth. You have, I hate to say wussies, but I think to some degree, you got a lot of wussies who are graduating from basic training who probably shouldn't be, passing basic training. But then, you have the, our military officers, who take orders from their commanding officers to protect our nation and to lead the men and women into combat. But they're not able to do it because they just don't have the qualifications. And I don't know where I'm going here with this, but I guess what I'm trying to say is the military we have today is not the military we had back when I was in. You don't have the strength and the stamina, the expert training. And if we ever go to war, we're going to be in trouble because the vast majority of our military people aren't going to be able to respond to the call to arms. But and it boils down to our commanders. Look at the commanders. Look. Okay, the main commander is the president of the United States. And right now, I hate to say it, but that commander is Biden. And to look at him and to realize that this is the guy that's going to, you know, say we're going to go to war against an enemy because they're attacking us or whatever the reason might be, or to authorize the pushing of the button that's going to start a nuclear war. We have a man that isn't capable of even dressing himself, and that's sad. Um, I think that we need to keep in mind that uh, our country is at a crust of, is it going to survive the next 10 months? I personally believe that a tragedy is going to befall President Trump. I'm going to believe that, Biden's going to retire, and someone that is chosen by the left is going to take his position and become the president of the United States. And it's not going to be a Republican.
Okay, hold up for just a second, Randy. Bill has to leave at 10:45, and we're coming up on that, so I want him to have a chance to
respond,
make a final statement. I don't want him to be late for the Bill Muckler show, which is immediately on the Bill Muckler page and the Bill Muckler show group at 11 a.m. I don't want him to be late.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Yeah, I have a show at 11, and I'm good, but I do need to have a little bit of time. What Randy's talking about is the bar has been lowered, and I'm not sure, exactly how difficult the basic training is today as to what it was, for example, when I went through. But we know that the military services are all having recruiting problems. They can't recruit enough to meet their quotas, except for the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps has met their quota, and I think the Marine Corps probably still has some pretty good high standards of basic training. But here's what's happening in America today. More than 70% of the high school students. So if you figure somebody graduates from high school and, between 18 and 25, that includes maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years of continuous graduations. More than 70% of them are not qualified to join the military service. And when I say that, that means less than 30% of the high school graduates, who are the ones who would normally go into the military service, are qualified. In other words, you can be disqualified because you don't have the mental acuity, the grades, or whatever past the mental and the intelligence test. You can't physically handle it. You're disqualified because you're on drugs. You're disqualified because you have a criminal background. So all those things, that's 70% or more of our youth in America. If you want to look at it from a point of view, forget the military service. 70% of our high school graduates, of our young people, 18 on up, aren't really qualified to do much of anything to make America a great country. So that's really a pretty serious thing. So I remember when Reagan, one of his campaign slogans was, "Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago?" Obviously, you were not better off today because the Carter administration screwed everything up. What my question is America better off today than it was 4 years ago? If people answer that question honestly, they're going to have to say, no, we're not better off. We're in never-ending wars. Our educational systems decline. We're in moral decline. Crime is rampant. You can go on, and our borders have been invaded by tens of millions of who knows who. of illiterate people who are carrying criminals or diseases or whatever. This is what our country's devolving to. And so, we need to have a change of course. And so it's very difficult when you consider that. And let me give you an example of further on this thing about the military services. For example, now the Navy, who really had some pretty high standards. I mean, you had to really be a top person to get in the Navy, because you're out on a ship. You got to know how to run that ship, how to make parts if something breaks down. Communications, the whole thing is really very demanding. Now the Navy says you don't have to be a high school graduate to join the Navy. You don't have to be a high school graduate. Well, when we see that in places like Baltimore, they don't have one high school student that's even qualified to graduate. And that's who's going to be in our Navy, who's going to serve our country, who's going to protect us. Boy, we got a lot of questions we need to get answered, and we need to change the course of this nation away from what they are calling the new normal, which is abnormal, and get back to having a country of self-reliant, responsible people who are literate and educated, and are not riddled with every damn disease you can think of.
All right, Bill, I don't want to cut you off, but I love having you on. We could do hours and hours and hours and hours, but I don't want you to be late for your own show.
Okay.
You are more than
It's good seeing you and Randy.
I'm very glad that you came back. I know we had problems a long time ago, and I totally apologize for that, and I've learned from it. And I am glad that you came back. I hope, if you want, you're more than welcome to pop in on Friday mornings, and we'll do the first segment with you, and right up until the time you got to go each week. But everybody go watch the Bill Muckler Show down on the Bill Muckler profile over on the Bill Muckler Show group. And because I told Bill I would promote the books for free on the broadcast, 2020, A Clear Vision for America, 2020, A Clear Vision for Our Future. Both are available at 2020americabook.com, 2020americabook.com. I believe, did people still get the set for $25, Bill, or
yeah, I'm running that special. And I'm doing that, and I'm not making any money off of this. I never wanted to make any money off of it. Just kind of cover my expenses, like my accountant says. Just try and lessen your losses a little bit.
All right, I don't want to make you late, Bill. You got 9 minutes, but like I said, you're welcome to come back any Friday morning that you want. And
thanks, David. I appreciate you promoting my books and
no problem,
and sharing my videos and everything.
My pleasure.
Very good. Thank you so much.
All right, Bill. Take care.
Right.
Thank you for dropping by. I don't want Bill to be late. I don't like making other people late for their broadcasts. I love having them on our broadcast. A very intelligent guy. Again, Bill Muckler, a retired Marine captain, an entrepreneur, still working at almost, I think he's coming close to his 90th birthday.
Wow.
And he is still working. And
that's amazing.
Knows a lot. He's doing a broadcast Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. He's on other people's broadcasts, and just a smart guy and a pleasure to have. What else do we got, Randy?
Well, let's do what someone else does, and that is to go to the news.
News.
Go to the news.
News you can use, news you don't want to use.
Something like that. Here we go. Okay. Well,
any good news?
Hypocrite Putin betrayed by suit labeled as she lectures about evil West. I guess she's wearing a suit that was made in the West, and the people in Russia say, "Why are you wearing a suit made by those from the West when you are at war with them?" I don't know. Why are you? Maybe there's better material.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not the truth. Let's see. What else we got going on?
It's
Winter
cheap.
Storm Watch.
It's cheaper than the suits you get on Temu and the other one.
So we got Winter Storm Watch on. Is that going to
We
affect
do.
your area?
We do. From what I understand, it was 8 inches plus
Damn.
in Connecticut, 8 inches plus in Massachusetts, and I don't know when it went north of Massachusetts into New Hampshire and Maine. I don't know, but from what I understand, in that whole area, it was supposed to be 8 inches plus was possible. And
Well, you can keep your.
we keep in touch. We keep in touch
shit.
we keep in touch with people in Connecticut daily. Donna's mom and her sister are still in Connecticut. My family is still in Massachusetts. And
So we're in the watch area.
Yep. Whose music?
Let's see what the news is here on the weather.
Okay. Oh, okay.
We've got rain and snow showers for this evening. This storm system should exit the valley by the 11 o'clock newscast. Then the winds will pick up, and they'll be strong tonight. We're talking upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour. That's enough to bring some tree limbs down, and we could see some sporadic power outages. That's an impact night. And then most of our Friday is going to be dry. But Friday night, widespread light snow will move in, likely coating the ground again and also the roadways, making travel slippery. So that's why Friday night is an impact night. Here's a live look over Harrisburg. Start to see some of those light rain showers.
Harrisburg, PA.
We are at 39 degrees.
So we're going to get it. We're going to get it. It's just, I have a daughter, God bless her. She still lives at home with me and my wife. And she does, some of the things that we, my wife and I, are physically unable to do, such as shoveling snow. She is a blessing, and I think until the day she moves out, we're going to keep making sure she stays here because we could make use of her. All your money, you don't have someone plow the handicap parking and the walkway at the Rhodes house?
Well,
no, not really, because look, I just, I woke up this morning and one of my clients for All Roads Lead Home Genealogies decided, you know what, Randy, you found what I wanted, was looking for. I no longer need your services. So, thanks for everything, and, have a nice day. So I lost that, that income.
But you'll find more. Find another one.
I gotta, pony down and start doing some advertising. Because I'm like 4 people shy now of a full schedule. I try to maintain around 8 people total for my business. I'm down to like 4. Which is fine. But when you're doing things like this, and my wife and I, God bless her, she's at a point where she really can't do much anymore physically. Having my daughter still staying at home with us, even though she does not pay anything towards expenses, she does it in the sense of helping around the house and doing the dishes, running the vacuum cleaner, shoveling the snow in the winter and things like that. So that's how she pays us back, and it's great having her still. Other than that, I'm going to be working on getting out some little blurbs about the show coming on Sunday.
The Road to Dixie, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Sundays on the Randy Rhodes Facebook channel.
Michael Anthony actually sent me an image the other day. That I'm not sure where he got it from, but it was a like an ad for the show, and I thought it was pretty cool. And here, I'll show it to you. Can you see it?
No, that's too much reflecting. But you can patch it through on a camera, can't you?
Here, let me do it this way. Bum, bum. So it's just pretty cool, but I didn't realize it until my daughter pointed out to Dad, you don't have the whole image. You're missing some letters. And I looked at it again. I was like, oh, shit. The image that he created was too small or too big to be transmitted to me. And so I had to reach out to Michael to see if he has the
He'll fix it. He'll fix it.
Fix it for me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm excited.
Good.
And again, Ichabod, he's going to be on. At least that's the last he and I talked. He was planning on being on. We'll see. I got high hopes for the show, and it's going to have a lot of material.
Right.
We'll see. But with that being said, I do got to jump.
All right.
This is rare.
This is rare. We've actually done. It'll be an hour.
Yeah. I'm not actually going to parachute out because the last time I parachute out, the ripcord didn't deploy correctly, and I hit the ground instead of the haystack. So I received some injuries that I'm recovering from. So yeah,
you'll have to talk to the health insurance company over there at the road to Dixie and see if they can help you.
Actually, they'll probably kick it back to you because I was on your show when it happened.
Oh, okay. I'll have to kick it back to Mark Zuckerberg because we're on his network.
There you go. Yeah, someone's gonna pay for it.
All right, Randy. Always a pleasure. Let's see.
This is a rarity. This is a rarity.
Our next one is this is a rarity. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a rarity for you and I to have 4 or 5 shows now where we actually talked and we had a good time and we had guests on and things went well with that and I hope it continues. I think
Randy has earned co-host. It's a 50% increase in salary over what we pay you now, and because it's a Boogie with the Bull increase in salary, it's retroactive.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have a nice paycheck of nothing. But it is a rarity, and I think the folks who actually watch our program, like watching a program where people actually talk and don't yell and scream and rant and rave and use foul language and things like that. And
if they want to see talking and yelling and screaming,
there's programs for that. Yeah,
I can give it to them, but it's so much better.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So much better to not. I haven't figured out a permanent schedule. If we want
I need to know that.
I think it's going to be Monday. I'm looking at Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the 10 a.m. For the 10 a.m.s because that leaves us not doing the mornings on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we do the evening at 7 p.m. But I'll finalize it over the next
finalize it for me so I can
make sure that you're available. And let's see,
the time frames are fine. It's just that I need to know that it's going to actually happen and not all of a sudden, hey, we want to do the show.
No,
damn, I'm not even dressed. Coffee yet? Gotta get a shower.
Next Monday, so it may not start until the week after, but the week that President's Day is on Monday, I have a 9 o'clock. I have a 9:15 appointment, so there probably won't be a 10 o'clock. We'll probably have to do it later in the afternoon, or maybe will violate my own rule and we'll do it at 7 o'clock Monday night. But
or we could do a
we'll
boogie
figure it
with
out.
the bowl without, or we could do a boogie with the bowl without the boogie, and just, I can do the show.
Yeah, we can discuss that.
Yeah.
We can discuss that.
Not time taking over the show. Just that, why miss the show when you don't have to?
You want the show? Here's the remote.
Yeah.
You can have it.
Oh, yeah. I got enough problems with what I got going on over here.
But no, well, yeah, we'll figure it out. I think it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but except for the Monday coming up that is President's Day, I can't be here till probably 9:15, 45 minutes is 10. Get home. It'd probably be 11 o'clock on Monday morning.
Okay.
Because I won't be back, and I'll set it all up before we go. But all right, Randy, do you want to be escorted out, or do you want to try to use the ramp on your own?
The ramp, there you go. Help!
All right, there it is. Bye. Randy Rose, all roads lead to home genealogy. That's Rhodes, Rhodes. It is a group on Facebook. You hear Randy talk about it on broadcasts all the time. In 15 minutes, he can go back 5 generations and usually convince you that you want him to keep looking. Rates are the lowest. You contract a genealogist. His rates are normally $250 a month. And from what I understand, those in Facebook circles that do it, he is the least expensive. I don't know the quality of their work. I know that he does fantastic work. He has done it for me in the past. He has done it for other people in the past. So contact Randy Rhodes, Rhodes, on Messenger, or leave him a message in the All Roads Lead to Home group. And as he said, there are openings right now for those that wish to have their genealogy service done. Melinda Brown Fortney, thank you for being in the live chat. And over here on the other side, Karen Johnson was watching, and Terry Stark was watching, and Arch Kennedy was watching. And anytime, Arch, you want to come on to a broadcast, either a 10 a.m. or a 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday broadcast, you are welcome. Sometimes we do a rare Saturday morning at 10 a.m. It's growing viewers. And if you're around and you want to do it, then you're more than welcome. Andy Ryan Hasselbart, thank you for watching. Marty Alexander and Danny Campbell, who has watched more Boogie with the Bull broadcasts at different times and different days of the week than anybody else in the history of Facebook. And I can actually prove that, was watching. If you're watching and you're not watching on my profile, then the comments you make on the post in whatever group that you watch, I will see those and I will go back and I will comment accordingly, because I want to know what you were thinking. But the live chat, as far as Facebook that's monitored and watched, is over here on the Dave Logan profile, and it's also over on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel for now. So come and be part of the conversation, ask questions, make statements. And eventually, if you want to be involved on a broadcast, you're more than welcome to join us. And if you ever decide one day you want to do your own, we will work with you and allow you to use our StreamYard while you play around and decide whether or not you want to do it. And if you decide you want to do your own, well, then we'll probably kick you to your own, because you'll probably want your own anyway. But it's not hard to do. I mean, anybody can aim a camera at their face and a mic at their face and use StreamYard and do a broadcast. It's not that hard. It really isn't. So thank you for everybody who watched. Thank you for everybody who will watch. Views are doing really good for our broadcast. Last night we had, I think, 86 people watching live, and it's well over 100 now. If you go back to Tuesday night, I think it was 117 were watching, and that's still climbing. And like I said, the next Boogie with the Bull broadcast is Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Boogie with the Bull Tuesday Night Live. There is a possibility that there may be a rare Saturday morning Boogie with the Bull. If anybody is interested in being on it, let me know, and that will help me make my decision as to whether or not we're going to do it. I'd like to grow views in the 10 a.m. Saturday slot. I don't know if we can do it every week, but I'd like to grow views in that time slot. But that also, if you can't watch that show Saturday at 10 a.m., please watch the podcast and help share it along too. Terry Stark, the chief admin of our groups, is watching, and thank you, Terry. Terry is a crazy lady when it comes to working on groups and things on Facebook. She is up at midnight Arizona time, which is 3 o'clock in the morning my time, and she's doing all of her groups, and she's doing all of our groups, and she's doing other groups that she's in, and she's just really busy. She's recovering from some surgeries, and we hope that she's back 100% very soon, but she's even busting more ass now that she's recovering than before. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Terry. Let's see. I'm going to go over here. We made some banners earlier. Let's get this going. Make sure. Wait a minute. No. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Okay, now let's do this, and that will be on the screen. The American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is on Rumble with Jerry Michaels. Make sure you go over there and watch it. Jen Woodruff, who was on with us last night, is a frequent co-host of the American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So make sure you go over there and watch it and learn from it. Like I keep saying, it is not our job on Boogie with the Bull to tell you what to do. It is our job on Boogie with the Bull to present all kinds of different information on something. Talk about amongst us on the panel and those in the live chats what we might do and how we would handle it, and then hope at the end of the broadcast that you think what you would want to do, or what your decision needs to be. There are some bad times coming, and a lot of people will tell you, if you have thought about getting a gun in the past and you haven't got one, this might be a good time to do that, and possibly make sure your family is trained and knows how to use one in a case where they may need one. Going to read one little quick thing that we learned yesterday. Bill Muckler on the Bill Muckler broadcast, I believe today's Friday, so I believe it was Wednesday. He said that he didn't know how many times in the past that Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day fall on the same Wednesday. So I went and looked. In the last century, it happened 3 times. 1923, 1934, 1945. And in this century, it happened in 2024, and it will happen again in 2029. I don't know any future from there. They haven't made that schedule of events yet, but we will keep you posted. So sometimes it's fun to look things up and see what you can learn. So please continue to be curious and look around and learn for yourself and decide for yourself and talk amongst yourselves and take care of yourself and your family and help in your communities when you can. And if we do it right, we don't have to worry. President Trump will be back in the White House, having won the November 24 presidential election. He'll be back behind the desk in the Oval Office in January of 2025, and he will do what he says he's going to do. He will have the largest deportation in American history and make sure that the border wall is completed and being maintained by Customs and Border Patrol people with the right equipment and the right personnel to do it. And we will just be better. And I have to believe that he's going to do it because he says he's going to do it. We were in a much better position when he left us in 2020 than where we have been since 2020. And I don't personally believe the Democrats will remove Joe Biden from the presidency before the November election because they don't want Kamala Harris, the vice president, to get any taste of what being the president is like because they're not going to run her in the 2024 election. And I highly agree with that decision. I don't know who they're going to run. And maybe they'll be stupid and they'll run Joe. And because everyone knows how Joe is, it'll just fuel the fire for everyone to reelect President Trump. And will get us better than where we are. Anyway, an hour and 15 minutes is enough for Friday morning caffeine. Like I said, the next one that is scheduled is Tuesday night live, 7 p.m. Eastern, here on the Dave Glovin profile and the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Like I said, there is still a shot that there will be a rare Saturday morning this week after I look around and see who is interested in being on it. And we'll go from there. And then, like I said, morning caffeine is probably going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but it will probably start the week after President's Day, or we'll miss the President's Day Monday or delay it till 11 o'clock. I haven't decided. You know me, I can never make up my mind. Anyway, with that in mind, let's see. Dr. Craig Peterson is in the live chat, and he said, keep up the good job. Thank you, Craig. We definitely will. And if you come up for air and you have 20 minutes sometime that you can come on, having been a world-renowned child psychologist, it would be a pleasure to have you on, and maybe you can pick apart the brain of this child right here. Anyway, it's time to wrap it up and take care of things. It's time for dog and cat brunch, and I might even eat two. So double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. This is the part of the program where I tell you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Friday morning caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. If you have any questions about that, contact me on Messenger or at boogiewiththebull@gmail.com. And on that note, second double B's for victory. This broadcast is going to come to an end. Fly over here. Third double B's for victory. This broadcast is going